The greatest war you'll ever fight will never make headlines. It won't be seen by cameras. It won't be fought in the open. And it won't be won by brute force. It's not a war for territory. It's not a battle for applause. It is the relentless, invisible, soul-grinding war between who you are and who you are meant to become. And the battlefield is your mind. Before you can win in the world, you must win within, because success isn't handed out to the worthy. It's conquered by the willing. It's earned by those who go to war with their doubts, slay their fears, and refuse to retreat no matter the odds. You want a throne? Then you better sharpen your sword, because life will not bow to the weak-willed. It will mock your dreams. It will tempt you to settle. It will test your fire every single day, and you will either fold like the masses or rise like the rare few who refuse to be average. This is not poetry. This is war. Every accuse is an enemy. Every doubt is a landmine. Every limiting belief is a thief in disguise sent to rob you of your potential. They won't knock on your door. They'll show up in your own voice, in whispers like, "It's too late. You're not good enough. What if you fail?" That's the enemy, not outside of you, inside. You were born a warrior, but this world conditioned you into a slave to comfort, a slave to opinions, a slave to convenience dressed up as success. They told you to play it safe, to stay in your lane, to be realistic. But nothing great was ever built by someone realistic. Edison wasn't realistic. He was delusional enough to see light where others only saw darkness. He failed more times than most even try, because he understood that failure is not the enemy. Fear is. You see, success is not a finish line. It's a front line. Every day you wake up, you enter battle, not with the world, but with the voice that tells you to stay the same, with the craving to stay in bed, with the urge to scroll instead of study, with the temptation to quit when no one is watching. That's the real war, and most lose it before breakfast. They hit snooze on destiny, they delay greatness, and they wonder why they feel defeated. But you were made for more, because inside you is a general, a conqueror. A relentless, unbreakable, disciplined mind just waiting to be activated. And when you finally answer the call, when you stop running from resistance and start charging into it, that's when your life begins to change. Understand this. The enemy doesn't care about your goals. It only cares about your habits, because that's where the war is won. In the silence, in the early mornings, in the moments when no one is clapping. You either train your mind to obey your purpose, or you will live your life obeying your emotions. Do you know why so few rise? Because they think they can fight with convenience. They think they can conquer with comfort. But there is no easy path to greatness. There is no shortcut to dominance. There is only one rule in this war: burn the boats, or die in regret. Think about every titan who built something eternal. Lincoln was crushed by loss, haunted by depression, but still carried a nation through its darkest hour. Carnegie started in poverty, but rewired his mind to think in terms of empires. Disney was laughed at, bankrupt, ridiculed, but kept moving, kept building, kept dreaming. They were not lucky. They were not chosen. They were warriors, masters of the battlefield within. They understood that success is not about getting. It's about becoming. Becoming someone who is too disciplined to quit, too focused to be distracted, too obsessed to be average. And that becoming, it requires blood, sacrifice, solitude, silence. You want to win this war? Then stop entertaining weakness. Stop feeding distractions. Stop explaining your dreams to people who don't even believe in themselves. Train your mind like a soldier. Protect your thoughts like treasure. Guard your energy like your life depends on it, because it does. You think success is about money? No. Success is about mastery. Mastery over self, mastery over fear, mastery over hesitation. And that level of control, it doesn't come through wishing. It comes through war. You rise every morning and fight for your freedom. You fight for your peace. You fight for your evolution. And when that internal voice starts whispering doubt, you look it dead in the eye and say, "Not today, not this time, not this version of me." If you want to win the outer war, you must build an inner fortress so strong that no storm can break it. And it begins with belief. Belief is not just hope. Belief is power. It is the armor of the mind, the steel beneath your skin, the engine behind every impossible act ever made real. Belief is what turned steel into skyscrapers, what turned dreams into dynasties, what turned a single thought in Carnegie's mind into an empire that shaped an era. But belief doesn't appear on its own. You must build it. You must fight for it. You must speak it even when your voice shakes, because the world will try to break your faith. It will offer you statistics, stories, and scars. It will show you why you can't. And that's when you must become deaf to doubt and loyal only to vision. Vision doesn't need permission. It doesn't ask if the odds are in its favor. It declares, I will. And then it moves. You must become that decisive, that clear, that dangerous, not because everything is guaranteed, but because you've made a pact with yourself, that quitting is no longer an option. The world rewards the bold, not the perfect, not the lucky, the bold. And boldness begins with clarity. You can't win a war you haven't defined. You can't conquer vague desires. What do you want? Not what sounds good, not what impresses others. What sets your blood on fire? Define it, see it, feel it in your gut, tattoo it onto your spirit, because that is your battle flag. Without clarity, you wander. With clarity, you strike. Without clarity, you're reactive. With clarity, you're precise. Look at Ford. He didn't just want to build a car. He wanted to build freedom, mobility for the masses. He saw it so clearly that nothing could break his resolve. Clarity gave him vision. And vision gave him the courage to endure ridicule, resistance, and every form of failure thrown his way. You must be that convicted. You must be that unreasonable with your goals. Because the reasonable never change the world. They adapt to it. But warriors? Warriors create new worlds with sheer force of will. Now here's the truth that most run from. Vision without action is just fantasy. And action without discipline is just movement. But action with purpose, backed by discipline, executed with intensity, that's transformation. That's when the battlefield bends. That's when momentum builds. That's when reality starts obeying you. The disciplined are the ones who rise, not because they're smarter, not because they're better, but because they outlast everyone else. When others doubt, they decide. When others slow down, they double down. When others talk, they move. Discipline is the weapon that never dulls, and it's forged in the fire of repetition, of showing up when you feel like hiding, of building when no one believes, of refusing to stop until the mission is done. Discipline doesn't ask how you feel, it asks what must be done. You see, success doesn't respond to your emotions, it responds to your patterns. Every day you show up for your vision, every day you fight for your future. You are carving a new identity, one that cannot be shaken by failure, fatigue, or fear. And yes, it will get lonely, because few are willing to go that far, to fight that hard, to burn that bright. But that loneliness, that's the sound of separation, the sound of you rising above the noise, becoming more. Don't run from it. Lean into it. Let it refine you. Let it strip away the weak parts of your former self. Because every disciplined action is a blow to the old you. And every time you choose purpose over pleasure, you declare, I am winning this war. There will be blood. There will be bruises. There will be nights when doubt surrounds you like wolves. But the one who keeps moving, the one who stares down the void and still steps forward, that is the one who changes everything. You want legacy? You want impact? Then embrace the battle. Embrace the 5 a.m. alarms. Embrace the silence. Embrace the rejection, the failure, the endless stretch of days where it feels like nothing is working. Because those days are your training ground. That's where the real victory is forged. Not in the spotlight, but in the shadows. In the private wars no one will ever see, but everyone will feel when you arrive. The greatest empires weren't built in calm. They were forged in fire, in turmoil, in relentless, unforgiving resistance. And so too is your empire, not the one made of stone or steel, but the one made of self. You will not be handed peace. You must earn it through chaos. You must look failure in the face and say, you will not define me. You must bleed on your craft and thank the pain, because pain is the signal. Pain is the rite of passage. It is life asking you, how bad do you want this? And your answer must be action, not noise, not blame, not delay, but action that screams, I will not fold. I was born for this. You must become so grounded in your purpose that nothing sways you, no loss, no insult, no betrayal, because you've already seen it all in your mind, and your mind is now a fortress. Chaos is no longer the enemy. You've tamed it, mastered it, transformed it, because once the battle within is won, The outside world loses its power over you. No more fear of failure because you failed and grown stronger. No more addiction to applause because silence became your sanctuary. No more doubt because you've built yourself brick by brick on the discipline of giants and the vision of kings. You are no longer waiting for life to bless you. You've become the blessing. You move with calm violence, a silent precision, unshaken, unapologetic, unstoppable, because you've trained for war, not the one the world sees, but the one it doesn't, the one inside. This is where most people stop. They achieve a little, they rise a little, and then they get soft, they get comfortable, they forget what built them. But you never stop sharpening, because you know that as soon as you stop preparing, the enemy within starts to wake. You are not fighting to prove them wrong anymore. You are fighting to prove yourself right. You're not chasing validation. You've outgrown that. You are chasing the next version of you, the one who is out there waiting, already walking like a warrior, already thinking like a titan, and every choice you make today, every thought you master, every fear you confront brings you closer. This is the final truth. Success is not for the loud. It is not for the lucky. It is for the prepared. It belongs to those who have bled in silence, who have mastered the voice that once held them hostage, who have tamed the mind and now rule their world. It is for those who've gone to war within and came back with fire in their eyes. You cannot lose because you no longer ask the world to give. You've learned to take, to demand, to forge, to earn. You've won the only war that matters, the war between potential and hesitation, the war between comfort and calling, the war between fear and destiny. And now the world is yours, not because it handed itself to you, but because you conquered it, because you won the battle within.